and today I'm going to show you a little bit of my original game design called Super Robo Jetkaiser Z, and I've got it up and running here in Tabletop Simulator. So you're going to be seeing a walkthrough, a demo, and some sample gameplay of a prototype game that's still in digital format. So I'm not going to commit to actually creating this print and play or a physical prototype until I've kind of tested it more in Tabletop Simulator. But what I'm going to do first of all is I'm going to show you a little bit of what the game setup looks like. The game is already set up over here it's a solo game. I should tell you a little bit about the game. So this game is based on the theme of 1970s mecha anime TV shows, giant robot TV shows, the kind that I grew up with. This is Jetkaiser Z, as you can see here. He's a giant robot. He's a good guy, and he has to fight this beast fighter. In this case, his enemy beast fighter is called Zugoron, the Flame Maw. You can't see his name there, but there it is, Flame Maw. The evil Zargonian Empire are sending these beast fighters to the Earth to take over, to destroy the Earth, basically, and subjugate it for the rule by the Zargonians, the evil alien Zargonians. And we don't really need any more motivation than that. So that's basically the theme here. And in terms of game mechanisms, this is a deck builder. So there's a deck of market cards here. There's also robot upgrading. So we've got robot upgrade parts for the head, the chest, the two arms, the legs, and the reactor, the incredible super photovoltaic reactor that is the heart of Jetkaiser Z. All right, we got a bunch of tokens here. These orange ones are energy cubes. These red ones are damage cubes. We've got some burn tokens, and we've got some life tokens for the minions. So not only does the Zugoron, the beast fighter, the enemy beast fighter, attack directly by means of these action cards here, but we've also got these minions that can show up later on and also be additional headaches for Jetkaiser Z. And we've got this deck of tactics cards. Currently there's 9 tactics cards, and they're tiered. Tactics level 1, level 2, level 3. And these tactics cards are going to activate a certain number of action cards each turn. Okay, so that's like a very brief overview of what the game is all about. And let's go ahead and go walk through the turn sequence, starting with the intel phase. All right, so in the intel phase, if we had any burn tokens in our play area, we would flip them from their next turn side to their this turn side. We don't have any, so we're not going to worry about that right now. As well, if there were any active debuffs that the beast fighter, the enemy, had placed on us, we would apply them, and that they were relevant in the intel phase. We would activate them now, and then we would immediately return those burn tokens to the supply after we'd activated them. We don't have any right now, so we don't have to worry about that. And here's the first thing we're going to do. In the intel phase, reveal the top beast fighter tactics card. So we're going to go over here to the tactics card, and we're going to reveal the top card. All right, we flip it over, and tactics level 1 probe. And what this means is that later on during the enemy activation phase, these 2 action cards will be the ones activated in this turn. That's this one, Eruption Pulse, which is a signature attack, and Ground Pound, which is a basic attack. But right now, we're not going to do anything with them. All we're doing here in the intel phase is we're revealing the tactics card, the top card of the tactics deck. So that gives us kind of a preview of what this beast fighter is intending to do later on, and because we're getting a preview, we're getting some advanced intel, maybe we can do something about it. Okay, so that was the intel phase. Now we're going to move on to the draw and generate phase, and I'm using this energy cube here as a handy dandy indicator of where we are. All right, draw and generate. If there were any debuffs in our area, we would apply them, and then we're going to draw 6 cards from our personal deck. So we're going to go over here to our personal deck here. We're going to draw 6 cards, and we're going to lay them out in our play area. All right. right. Apologies for maybe I'm not that fast, not that fluid with using Tabletop Simulator yet. Okay, and let me go ahead and flip these over. So this is my starting hand of cards. These are starter cards. And let's take a quick look at them, shall we? So basically these cards, the player cards, have two choices of actions. They've got a primary action printed here, and then they've got a secondary action printed here. They also have some secondary text that tells you in which phase that you can use that card. So, for example, this Inner Eye and Data Spike, you can use them in the upgrade phase. Here's an important point. You can only play a card for either its primary or its alternate action. You can't play it for both in the same turn unless you have a power or effect or benefit that allows you to do so. And you've also got a main image, and you've got a character. So this is Dr. Yamada. He's the head of the Photovoltronic Research Institute that invented and powers the experimental Jetkaiser robot. And here's some flavor dialogue that they're saying. This is Ayami, and she is the co-inventor of Jetkaiser and of the photovoltronic energy, the experimental photovoltronic energy that powers Jetkaiser. And here is Kenji, who is the pilot of Jetkaiser. So you've got, every time you play a card, you've got some flavor dialogue of things that they're saying. So for example, when Kenji plays this evasive maneuver, he screams, "Is that all you've got, Zargonian scum?" Okay, anyway, enough of that. That is our starting hand. And that is what we do here in the draw phase, draw 6 cards. We're also going to generate energy cubes based on what our reactor says. So let's go down here to our reactor. Right now we've got the starter reactor. It's the core reactor Mark 1, and it will generate 3 energy cubes. So we're going to grab some energy cubes over here, 3, and then we'll put them in our energy pool. We will have an opportunity to distribute them later. I'll show you what to do with them. Okay, so we have now completed everything that we're supposed to do here in the draw and generate phase. Now we're going to move to the upgrade phase. What happens in the upgrade phase? We install robot part upgrades. Right now we don't have any, so we're not going to do that just yet. We're going to play market cards. We're going to choose to use the primary or alternate effect. Right now we don't have the benefit that allows us to do both. And with our energy, we can purchase new market cards. Okay, so let's play our market cards. Well, first of all, let's take a look at the market here. So this is the draw deck of the market. And let's take a look at what is on offer here in the market. And this is the energy cube cost, the energy cost in the upper left that you would have to pay to pick up that market card. So you'll see a range of costs here. This one only costs 2, emergency jettison. This one, double strike, costs 4. The Jetkaiser Bazooka, which is an arm upgrade, costs 3. We can afford that. We might consider that. Energy Surge costs 7. We can't afford that right now. This is the card I was talking about that gives you the ability to activate both primary and alternate effects of all cards you play from your hand this turn. That's a powerful ability, but it costs a lot, as you might imagine. Enhanced Repair, reduce by 2 energy the cost to repair disabled part. Normally it costs 3 energy, so this is another nice card just out of our price range right now. We don't have that much. And Emergency Repair, reduced by 1 the cost to repair a disabled part, so slightly less powerful repair card, but we can afford it. So I don't know, maybe right now looking over the market, maybe I'm most interested in this Jetkaiser Bazooka upgrade, because right now my what I've got installed in my left and right arm is the starter Rocket Punch. They deal 1 damage to a single target. So this might be a nice upgrade because it deals 2 damage to a single target. And what's also cool is you can use energy to add or multiply the effects of your card. So there's a track here that allows you, for example, if we were to put some energy here, energy, yes, and it covers up this, it reaches this ×2 modifier here, then for example, if we had a deal 2 to a single target card over here, like this one, then it would be 2 times 2, it would be 4. And you can see later on, if you increase your energy, if you charge them up, then that would be 2 times 4 is 8, and that would be 2 times 6 is 12. So with there is benefit to increasing energy charge for each one of these robot parts here, because you can increase their effect rather significantly. So that's kind of cool. Okay, so what are we doing here? We're playing our market cards, and we're purchasing new market cards with energy cubes, and we like this Jetkaiser bazooka. So I'd like to purchase this, and it costs 3. Now, if you take a look here, I've got a card that can give me a discount, I believe. Oh, actually I don't, so that kind of sucks. All right, so I'm going to take these 3 cubes, these 3 energy cubes, over here, and I'm going to pay them to the supply, and then that'll allow me to purchase Jetkaiser bazooka, and I'll put it in my discard pile. And later on, after this, I'm going to have an opportunity to shuffle this into my draw deck and have a chance for it to come out. Great, so I've got that. And what else do I want to do? I want to play some market cards and purchase new cards with energy cubes. So you'll notice I have no more energy in my energy pool. So that kind of sucks. But we have these starter cards, and they all have a secondary effect or an alternate effect of being able to generate energy. But I need to kind of balance, do I need this card right now? So for example, Inner Eye has an effect of, look at the top 3 cards of your draw deck, keep one, return the others in any order. There's nothing in my draw deck right now, so I don't really need this card for its primary effect. I can play it for its secondary effect. So I will grab an energy, put it in my energy pool. So I played Inner Eye for its secondary effect. Same thing with Data Spike. Its primary effect is draw 1 card and discard 1 card. I don't have any cards in my draw deck right now, so I'm going to play this one for energy as well. So you see how this goes. Every time you play a card, you have a choice to play it either for its primary or secondary effect, depending on what is going to benefit you at that moment in time. Counter-Strike is kind of interesting. I can play this during the enemy attack phase later on. It's going to recoil damage. It's going to deal 1 damage to any enemy that damaged Jetkaiser this turn. So I'm probably going to hang on to this. I'm going to save it for later on when the Beast Fighter or its minions attacks me, because this is going to enable me to do rebound damage to it. Same thing with Evasive Maneuver. -1 damage from an incoming attack, so that's probably going to come in handy a little later on. I've got a repair card if I'm going to take damage, so I don't want to use this right now. I'm going to save it. This Sixth Sense card is a draw +1 card. I don't have anything in my draw deck right now, so it's not useful right now. So I'm going to play this one for energy as well. Grab some energy here. Okay. So now we've got 3 energy from card play, and we're saving these other cards for when they can potentially help us later on in the turn. And that means that we've done everything we can in the upgrade phase. We've played our market cards. We've purchased new market cards with energy cubes. Well, let's take a look. Is there any other market card in our price range that we want to buy? Emergency Repair, we can afford it. And Emergency Jettison, we can afford it. And so we could do that, or we could hang on to our energy. So I think I'm going to hang on to the energy. That's what I'm going to decide to do. So we're going to move on to the charge phase. If there were any active debuffs that are relevant to the charge phase, we would apply those now. And then now we have the opportunity to assign energy to our robot parts, left or right. Okay, so what have we got? We've got 3 energy over here. And let's take a look at our parts here. If I added energy, so this is our main weapon. This is the Jetkaiser Burst Vent, our most powerful kind of finishing move weapon. And it will deal 2 damage to a single target. But you'll notice I've got 3 energy. If I choose to place them here in these slots, in the charge slot, then that 2 could become ×3, and that would suddenly become 6 points of damage. So that sounds really good to me. I think I'd like to do that. And it takes less to charge up to the first level of these Rocket Punch, but they're going to cause less damage than this kind of chest weapon we've got here, the Jetkaiser Burst Vent. So I think that's what I'm going to do. I'm going to grab, let's zoom out here. I'm going to grab these cubes, and I'm going to charge up my chest weapon until we cover that ×3 modifier there. And so now this is going to do 6 points of damage when we get to fire it off as opposed to 2. So that's kind of cool. What else do we got here? Assign energy to robot parts. So we only had 3 energy. We assigned them. We're good to go. Highest cube sets the parts effect bonus. Great. So now we move down to the Jetkaiser attack phase. This is what we've been building up to. We are going to go ahead and fire off our charged weapons. So we will apply damage and effects based on charge level. And if we have any market cards in our deck, in our hand rather, that are kind of also relevant to the attack phase, we would use them now. So great. So we are going to fire off our weapon here, Jetkaiser Burst Vent. Deal 2 damage to a single target ×3. So it's actually 6 damage. The only target we have right now is this Beast Fighter, who has got 80 points. So I'm playing on normal difficulty. Easy difficulty would be 60 points. Normal difficulty is 80 points. And then hard difficulty is 100 points. I'm playing a normal difficulty game right now. I did 6 points of damage to it. So from 80, it goes down to 74. 6 points of damage to you, Zugaron. Take that. Great. So that was awesome. One thing I should mention is that every part needs at least minimum of 1 energy in order to function. If ever this first energy cube here is removed, let's move it out here. It exposes this kind of wrench icon. It means that part is disabled. The card would be discarded, and you've got to spend at least 3 energy to re-enable that part, as is printed here. The only exception is this reactor. Its track works differently from all the other tracks. All the other tracks are kind of unified damage and charge tracks, where energy is placed left to right, and then damage, once the Beast Fighter caused damage, is placed right to left. I'll show you that in a little bit. If the reactor is damaged all the way to this final space, then Jetkaiser dies or is defeated. The game is lost. Or if 3 or more other parts are disabled in the same turn, same thing, game over. All right. So we fired off an attack. Well, we've got some other attacks that we can fire off. Rocket Punch over here will deal 1, and this one will deal 1. So that's an extra 2 points of damage. So we're going to go ahead and lay on that damage on Zugaron. So he goes down to 72 points. Take that. And that's pretty much. Do we have anything else that can be relevant in the Jetkaiser attack phase? We do not. We haven't suffered damage yet. Okay, so that means that we are complete here with the Jetkaiser attack phase, and we're going to move on. Now it's the enemy's turn. Enemy action phase. Resolve Beast Fighter actions based on the tactics card. Activate the shaded red action spaces. All right, here we go. It's this one that we're activating, the upper right and the lower right. So this one is Eruption Pulse. Signature attack. Does 2 damage and then discard the highest energy from robot charge track of your choice. Eruption Pulse. Zugaron is going to do 2 points of damage to Jetkaiser. The way it works is when damage is done, you put the damage cubes here in this damage pool or area. You don't allocate them yet. And then discard the highest energy cube from the robot charge track of your choice. Okay, so the only part that's charged up is the chest. So I'm going to have to discard this guy and send it back to the energy pool, which could be an inconvenience right now, because right now you'll see it's no longer reaching this ×3 modifier here. Okay, we have resolved this Eruption Pulse, and the next one we have to resolve is this lower right card, which is this Ground Pound basic attack. 1 damage and then discard 1 random card from the play area. Oh, hang on. So I've got some cards to play. I'm going to take a look at those cards. Before I resolve this guy, I've got some cards to play, right? So I could use evasive maneuver and -1 from the incoming attack, and I could do quick repair to get rid of another one. So I'll use evasive maneuver, and so then Jetkaiser performs an evasive maneuver and dodges that attack, and then I'll do a quick repair during combat, and I will repair this damage that I just received. So it's as if I received 0 damage. Great. And then I could deal 1 damage to any enemy that damaged Jetkaiser this turn. Well, you damaged me, Zuguron. So I'm going to go ahead and play this card and do you 1 damage as a kind of a recoil. And so now you are down to 71 points of health. Great. And that kind of helps me because then when this card in the lower right activates, he'll do me 1 damage, which I can't counter. But this discard 1 random card from the play area, well, I don't have any more cards in my play area, so that doesn't affect me. But I do get this 1 damage here that I can't counter. Okay, so that seems to resolve everything in the enemy action phase. As you can see, there's quite a bit of kind of strategic thinking here based on the order of the attacks. So just for example, because I was able to play my cards or choose to play my cards after the first activation and before the second one, then I have some agency to make it more advantageous for me. So I think that was kind of cool. All right, we are moving down to the damage control phase. So the way it works is you collect the damage first in the damage area, and then you have to decide where that damage is going to get allocated. So I've got 1 damage cube, and that needs to leave this damage area and needs to be placed somewhere. I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to place it on my head. So Jetkaiser takes a blow to the head, but that's okay. So as you can see here, this is the mechanism here. As I said earlier, these are unified energy and damage tracks. And so as Jetkaiser gets more damage, you can place here, here, here. If ever that cube has to occupy a space that is occupied by energy, it would kick it out. It would kick it out. It would overwrite it, and that energy would be gone. And so that's just kind of how those the unified tracks work. Okay, so that was the damage control phase. Excuse me. And as I mentioned earlier, if 3 or more, if the reactor or if 3 or more body parts, non-reactor body parts, are disabled in a same turn, it's game over for you, Jetkaiser. Okay, and now we get to the regroup phase, where we discard all of our played cards and all of our unplayed cards, check and reduce the energy pool to the reactor limit, and then discard the market row and draw 6 cards to form a fresh market row. Okay, so we will first discard our played cards, these guys here. Let's discard them. And you, okay, and then reduce the energy pool to reactor limit. So if you look at this reactor card, limit of 4 energy at the end of turn. Well, right now we've got 1, so we're under the limit, so we're not going to worry about that right now. We are under the limit. And then discard the market row and draw 6 market cards to form a fresh market row. All right, so one thing about this game is the market row cycles fairly quickly because you discard every element of that row at the end of each turn, and then you set out a fresh new market row. So pardon me while I work as fast as possible to set out these market cards here. All right, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and then I'll flip them over. Okay, so whole fresh market row here. This one costs 4. That's an upgrade, a missile upgrade. This one costs 8. That's a stun grenade. I can disable a minion card, so that's pretty cool, but very expensive. This one is emergency jettison, psychic combat link. This is a head upgrade. Scan the top 4 cards of the tactics deck and then place any 2 on the bottom and return others to top in any order. So you can start to affect kind of like the order of the tactics deck. This is an instant repair. If you had a disabled part, you could repair it for no cost. It's pretty powerful, pretty expensive. And reserve power. Reduce cost to purchase a card by 1 energy. And that is going to be within my price range. So that's kind of interesting. All right. So we have completed the steps in the regroup phase. Let's zoom out here. And that was a 1 turn, kind of a sample turn for Super Robo Jetkaiser Z. So I'm going to keep playing and I'm going to keep recording, but I'm also going to post this as a as kind of a quick start, and hopefully it's not that long. And then I'll probably have a longer version where I can show you more of the playthrough. For some of you who are only watching the quick start version of this, thanks for watching. Hope that this kind of quick demo gives you an idea of how the game plays. And until next time, this has been Martin. Thanks for watching.